G'day, welcome. Facebook Live for August. Really happy to be invited back, as always. So nice to see you, Phil.
Yeah,
Sitting on a
good
nice
morning.
little lounge suite at the moment, or lounge Fairfield four-piece, we should call it, as we always advertise. Nice and comfy. Nice four-piece one that we got on sale.
It's quite padded, isn't it, really?
It is. $9.99 on special, so feel free to come through and have a look at that. We've got a few things to talk about now. Hopefully, we're coming in the end of that poor weather. Still getting some rain, which is fantastic to see, but I know we've already had a couple of nice little hot bursts through here. We say hot bursts, but 20-degree days, that's awesome. So good time to get out in the garden and keep prepping and get ready.
Absolutely. I guess, now that, like you say, we're starting to see some warmer days, but there's moisture around. The concern in gardens would be like, fungal problems and bacteria and stuff like that. So I guess we could start with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been the perfect time, and you've probably still got a bit of time to do things like rose pruning or fruit tree pruning.
Yes.
When you do finish off, and we should have probably talked about this last month, when you finish off, you can use fungicides. So, we've got a couple of examples here. These are both copper-type fungicides.
Yes.
And the reason these are quite topical at the moment is that if you don't have them and you've got stone fruit trees, you'd want to be thinking about at least trying to grab hold of them and have them ready, because leaf curl is going to be one of the biggest problems. It's probably, come September, the biggest problem that we get asked about and how to cure it. I guess the thing isn't really about curing it, it's trying to prevent it in the first place.
Yeah, okay,
right?
So trying to make sure that everything's just prepped and bolstered before you get into that season.
So really it comes down to having those spores on the buds when they start to open up and start to show the colour of the flower. If you haven't treated it by that stage, then you are likely to get leaf curl later in the season, and then you can't sort of treat it then. You need to treat it at the beginning. So
and the impact of leaf curl on stone fruits and stuff?
Well, depends on who you ask. The worst case scenario would be scabbing on the fruit. If you get severe scabbing on the fruit, it really makes the fruit inedible.
Yeah, of course. Which is not what you want after all that effort and that prep that you've done.
But you just don't know. The leaf curl itself, which is the indicator to that problem, just looks like bumpy looking leaves. And won't affect the growth of the tree or anything like that. What will happen is through the growing period, that initial lot of leaves will drop off and then new leaves come through will look quite fine. But it's the scabbing later on in the season that you really want to prevent. So, yes, as soon as you start to see the colour of the flower starting to show through the buds, copper on them. And you might want to do that sort of broken up over maybe a period of like a week or two, just because not all of the flowers are going to come out at one time.
And you just want to make sure covering.
Absolutely, if you miss that stage, don't try to sort of make up for it later on once the flowers are fully out, because you can burn the flowers and then you can end up with no fruit. So
a bit of a balance of making sure
absolutely, just at the right time. So
and they're soluble, so just a mix up into water, into a spray.
Absolutely, they're pretty easy, and I guess the reason that there's different ones, the technical reason. So copper oxychloride, which was sort of the initial one that came out, it's all about the crystal size. So by the time it gets down to co-side, which is cupric hydroxide, or there's even a liquid form nowadays. The smaller the crystal that you choose, the easier it is to dilute it. The easier it is to spray, the less likely it is to clog up your sprayer. And the less likely it is to potentially burn the plant. So lots of reasons to go for that. So I guess from here, co-side's probably the selection to go for.
And obviously a little bit of warmer weather coming around. One of the most wonderful things you can do with a family and stuff like that, if you've got that ability, is your veggie patch.
Absolutely.
So we've brought out a few here, which is just from a seed form, versus obviously the seedlings, or even buying obviously little what do they call them? Baby plants, or
the little punnets of plants,
little punnets and stuff like that. But we're just showing a couple of things here which are good to be able to get planting, obviously, and get them into the soil and get yourself going. Which is we've got some dwarf beans.
So beans are really good. There's no point buying them in a punnet. You get way more in a seed packet, and they grow so quick. So so perfect to use.
Peas, which are always good fun for the kids to get out and pick and go along when they're, because they usually
especially the pods, popping the pods open,
pop them out and get them going. Bit of beetroot, which is always good. That's always interesting and good fun as well. If you can get a couple of good ones of those out, the kids get to see that. They can peel them, play around with them. Make sure they wear gloves because it can get pretty messy when they do that.
Mum's pots and pans when you cook them.
Exactly right. My kids certainly love carrots, so that's a great one as well. I know when you get punnets and stuff, you get quite a few, but again, seeds are a really, really good.
Carrots are a great one from seed because if you sort of buy them in punnets, you tend to only get the little round baby ones. You want proper carrots.
Good carrots
seeds for sure.
Yeah. And then obviously, one of the probably an all-round almost year thing is lettuces never goes astray as well. So, but we've got a full range and a whole bay offering of all sorts of different seeds that are really, really good for planting all around the year. And just as a point of fact, that these get switched over and seasonally changed as well, guys. So most times you come into our store, you're always going to find something that's appropriate for the right season for planting, aren't you?
Absolutely. And look, as we always say, we've got the staff available that if there's a question about planting them, where they go, what they need, ask one of the staff. We're more than happy to sort of offer the advice that you need.
Just famous Phil here, obviously, is one of them, but we've also got Yo that works in garden. We've also got Cindy, who works every weekend. So we've always got an absolute expert and a person that's been in the industry for a long, long time in the nursery every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So you've got a huge resource here at the Jeps Cross Garden Centre, and a lot of our garden centres that are in the smaller stores and so forth have very, very qualified team members that have been in the game a long time. So we'd encourage you to come in and see them.
Absolutely. I guess one thing, you came across it yesterday as the non-gardener in this duo.
Sometimes I sound like I'm a gardener.
I get a phone call yesterday. Where are your tomato plants?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm ringing him yesterday. I happened to wander out into Green Life and a person asked me, and I said exactly that, Phil. Where are the tomato plants?
So I guess we should sort of talk about that. So it's mid-August, and tomatoes are probably available for us to buy in. The reason that we don't buy them in at this stage is if you were to have a nice warm spot, a greenhouse, something like that you could put them, absolutely, get them early, get them growing, and you can sort of get that head start on the season. But the fact is that most people don't have that.
If you like mine's just a backyard veggie garden, just in like a little bed area, really. So out to sun, wind, rain, everything, cops everything.
So you wouldn't really be getting too many advantages by putting them into a cold garden bed out in the cold or anything like that. Then you're not going to sort of see that reward for effort.
Cool.
And worst case scenario, if you were to unfortunately get a frost or some hail or something like that at the end of the season, which can happen, you've done your money. If you've got a way of protecting them and keeping them warm, absolutely. And same deal, more than happy if we get sort of the right interest, we could look to buy some in. But we're a bit more traditional here, and so it'll be more like the first week of September that we start to see them come through.
Nice, consistent, a bit more warmer weather.
But that doesn't stop people getting the garden bed ready.
Yes, of course. I guess discussed that before.
August is probably the time to be sort of getting the shovel out, picking. If you've got any of your crops already in, any of your vegetables growing, and they're ready to go, pull them out, get those garden beds turned over, get some mulch or some manures or whatever it is turned through.
Let that stuff settle and work its way through for a couple of weeks, ready in preparation for springtime.
That's exactly what August is for.
Just on another personal note, what I did the other day too, I've got some magnolias at home, and it's funny, I've spoken to Phil, we've got 3 on one side of the driveway, got 2 on the other, and one's going absolute great guns. It's really, really going well. And my other sort of started to show a bit of wear and a bit of probably a little bit yellowing of the leaves, and
it's not thriving the way that the others are, is it?
No, exactly right. It was really weird. So Phil said to me, which I didn't realise we do either, but he said a soil test kit is probably the best way to really find out about maybe what we could do to improve that area and so forth as well. So we brought some in the other day. I got in the garden with my daughter, dug it up and brought it in. She loves that part of it. But he tested it and it was off the charts when it comes to alkalinity. He's never seen anything more purple. So apparently on the chart there, when you see purple, that's not a great sign, especially when magnolias are a little bit more acidic.
Well, they're an acidic loving plant. So when you're sort of seeing 10s and 11s on the chart, you know you've got a bit of a problem.
So what he said to me, and which I have bought, is basically some iron chelate. Iron chelate. And that's really just to try and help a bit of the acidity, but there's also a couple of things that you suggested that we could do as well to try and bring up those acidity levels.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sort of, this will work as a bit of a band-aid solution. It will help the plant overcome the fact that it can't feed properly because of the alkalinity issue. So a bit of a Band-Aid solution, and you will see the plant, if you consistently use that, you will see the plant start to green up with the fertilisers that you use.
Yep.
So it's a good way to go to start to see something initially happening.
Yep.
But, you know, we talked about sort of the issue that's there is going to be more long-term. You can't afford to keep buying
keep pumping
Band-Aid
out.
solutions. You want to sort of come up with a more permanent solution.
Yep.
So what we've got to do for this instance is find a way to bring that pH back down and make the soil more acidic. I mean, we spoke about it. You were right. It's up at a 10 or 11.
Yeah.
We need it to be more like a 6.
Yeah.
So we've got to bring it down sort of 4 or 5 points to get to that you know, really perfect stage for it. How do we do it? Well, we've got to find the right combination of products that will help to create an acidic area for it. So what we'll be doing over the sort of next few weeks, we'll be looking at the types of fertiliser that you use, the types of additives that you can put into the soil to improve it, and then, you know, things like can we mulch it with a better type of mulch?
So, exactly.
I mean, that might be something that we can sort of follow through so that we can give you an
Next
update.
Live,
but
we'll give you another update and see how we go.
You'll have to bring some photos before and after.
We can do that. We might even be able to pop that up and see, just so you guys can see about what you can do if you apply the right method and so forth as well. But the main thing, obviously, on that, guys, was, again, you know, I really am that very apprentice level gardener, just really keen to get in there. But you come and see the experts and they'll guide you through the steps that you need to actually do to achieve what you're after. The only other one personal note that I wanted to talk about, which again, warmer weather says to me, and I can see it straight away, lawns are starting to come out a little bit. Feel like I might be back into my weekly mow cycle, but I do have some organic fertiliser and so forth, and I was thinking about, again, we're getting into hopefully a bit of a warmer patch as we get towards September. Obviously a good time to get maybe an organic fertiliser on, water it in if we got another couple of rain days coming up or something like that.
Yeah, once again, I mean, now's not a bad time to do it. You know, the extra rain will help to wash that through the soil.
That's what I'm thinking,
and try and give it a boost. You know, you might want to watch it if we get into September, October and the rainfall disappears, but we've got dampness. We don't want to cause like fungal issues in the lawn.
Okay.
So I would be with you. I'd be looking at an organics now, and try just to sort of get some green back in it. But
it's certainly gone dormant. But you can see with mine, it's the same thing. It's just starting to show signs that it's coming back. The green's slightly there, but I think now just giving it that sort of boost before you get into that warmer weather. Hopefully, you're preparing it ready to go for summertime.
The interesting from my point of view, after doing that pH test for your magnolia, the next thing that we probably could look at would be the acidity in the soil area, because there'd be additives that you could use to like increase the green of your lawn as well. So
of course.
They're the sorts of things that once you sort of start to identify that there's little problems in the garden, we can perhaps boost the way the entire garden looks. So that's another thing that we'll be looking to do.
Yeah, excellent. Outside of that, anything else going on?
No, I think it's really, for me, it's you know, I mean, we're in the stages of prepping for the refresh in the garden centre, which
will be pretty exciting and pretty cool when that's done.
We've got a lot happening in store, and it's becoming the busy time of the year. I mean, you know, as we finish this, you know, we've got people waiting for us, so
we're ready to go.
We'll get into it, won't we?
Yep, awesome. We'll see you next month.